Hello, what's up everyone? We are here to break down Buzzy KLONKSON's adventure. That means we need to get to our closet, check out our mech suit, like shine it up a little bit, get an oil change, reload the rockets, and then it's time to set some stuff on fire. In this particular case, we have a couple of these desert tiles, high grass, fire everywhere. It's quite fun. And hopefully no sand is gonna get in between those many gears that make up Buzzy KLONKSON's mech suit. And today we're going to be breaking it all down for you, encounter after encounter, all the way until the legendary encounter, because I didn't even try it yet. Hello, hello, hey Hugo, aka Xispo, hey Borun, good evening my leader, and everyone. Yeah, Monster Mash is here, Fancy as F is here, Hype, yes, I hope you guys are looking forward to the current adventure that we're going to be breaking down. Quick note up front. A couple of things I need to get out of the way because sometimes I forget about them. So, first of all, the easiest part, one of the most interesting parts for you, we are going to be doing a prize drawing at the end of this stream. So, please do me a favor, like take some notes and keep in mind which encounter you enjoyed the most. So if there's one encounter where you're like, oh yeah, this was one that gave me a headache, but I enjoyed mastering it in the end, or there was an encounter that was like so easy that you're like, yeah, this is my favorite. Whatever it is, completely up to you. Just basically write down a mental note, and then at the end of the stream, whoever is commenting on what their favorite encounter is, you are entering our prize drawing for 10 summoning tokens, so you can actually win something. So that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. The second thing I want to get out of the way is a big thank you to my entire guild. It was really a joint venture this time around. There were several encounters where I was like, I have no idea how to tackle this. Does anybody have any ideas? And then constantly members of my community, friends, some of them in my guild, some of them in my network, sometimes even people from other guilds chimed in and shared some strategies with me. So in that sense, I want to show you something else, and that is if you are quickly checking out on the official Discord, this is the official Discord, in suggestions, there is a very recent link to the Japanese Rivengard server. So Tama, who is a member of my guild, Tamamo, I recommended that name change when he pulled Tanamo, and he stuck with. I thought it's like a joke for a week, but he's sticking with it like an absolute boss. If you happen to speak Japanese, or you want to practice Japanese, or you just want to hang out with some cool like Japanese Rivengard players, check out the Japanese Discord for Rivengard. I'm just going to put a link in the chat as well, so you have a very easy time following that. All right, I think that's pretty much it. It's past 10 p.m., at least for me. So let's get this show on the road and head on over to our recording. So that means I need to mute this stream, and I need to turn this on because this is it's just 12 minutes long, which is surprising to be honest. But in those 12 minutes, we're going to be breaking down at least until unless I haven't messed up. If I haven't messed up, in just less than 13 minutes, we're going to be breaking down all the common, uncommon, rare, and epic encounters in this current adventure. Tiny Rodent, rare 5 is my favorite so far, but I didn't start the epic ones yet. All right. Hey, there's Engine, aka Inza, Claudia Ferrara, hello Soul. Hey, hello there. Monster Mash, woohoo! Okay, let's get the show on the road. Like I said, so this is common encounter number 1. As we know from before, lightning victory. Don't take any damage, nobody can get hit, and then obviously get 3 stars. But like we're used to that part. So you can play whoever you want. This was my first attempt in this encounter, as we can see, because there wasn't any points yet. So it seems straightforward enough. Whenever I have the freedom of choice who I'm going to play, Gix is one of the units I'm playing, like almost always. I love Gix. He's very strong, and he gives you summons. And I think this is the reason why I didn't even edit this part of the video. I did edit some other videos, some other encounters, quite a bit. There were some of them where I needed 5 minutes just for thinking. And I was like, okay, let's break this down a little bit for you guys so it doesn't take forever. So, Gix is a good idea, as I said. But ironically enough, I think I'm not going for the Palace Guard. I think I'm going for this guy in the back, but I don't even remember. And generally speaking, whenever you're going up against light units, okay, I am going with him, play Queen Akeshru if you have her. Queen Akeshru is amazing because the active does double damage to light units. So even when everybody's locked in to just common rarity, chances are, more often than not, that you happen to just like outright kill them without a problem. So thanks to us having enough summons, the enemies are engaging with our summons, nobody's interested in our units, so that means we can take this guy out. And then we have 2 more turns, which is really something, to take out the other guy, the other horse archer. And now we have completely surrounded him. He might be going, excellent, we can attack in all directions, but no, in the end that is enough. And we can get the perfect score in the first common encounter. So, very easy start. That's how I like my adventures. We want to like get the ball rolling very slowly, but then eventually they get like harder and harder, and in some cases outright tricky. So common encounter number 2 has the very same victory conditions. So again, don't take any damage. I again went with gigs. I think I had to play this twice because I switched around the starting attack pattern with gigs and Queen Akeshru. So I'm first moving out with Queen Akeshru, and then after that, and the attack, I'm moving up with gigs into the spot that Queen Akeshru was inheriting before. So this way, as is often the case, I try to put as many units between my units and the enemies. And that tends to help. That is not a guarantee, but very often this actually reduces the chance of the enemy engaging with your unit, especially when your unit is standing in a shrub. So now they are more likely to attack the frogs or the summons. And then we go here. If you get super unlucky, there was a chance that we would have crit hit with Buzzy, and then we couldn't have connected for runner clue. But everything worked out fine in the end. So that's how we ended up on the second attempt getting the perfect score. And I always start my adventures with 9 out of 6 tokens, because you have like this overcap. And that's basically my first 3 attempts were like the first 2 encounters. Now we get into common encounter number 3, first attempt. As we can see, we have no points. This time we're not allowed to play any ranged units. And while I'm talking like a maniac, I'm realizing that I should actually put the information on the side of the stream so you guys have an easier time following them if you look for a particular encounter. So now we're entering common encounter number 3. Alright, so don't take any damage and play no ranged units. You can already see a lot of enemies lining up, so this kind of screams Queen Akeshru, but I'm not even going for her. And the reason is something else. The reason is I have no ranged units, so Queen Akeshru, that's the main reason actually. But there is a weird, well, it's not quite a cheat, but there's something like a peculiarity in this game, and that has to do with these guys, with their hook attack, and Cinder and her cannon. And we will see that in a second. These guys are very scary when they can use their active. When they cannot use their active, they are not that good. They are definitely less annoying than the horse archers. And now watch this. Because I know what's going to happen. They're going to be playing like past the hot potato or whatever that game is called. Look at these guys. Everybody's using their active. And now, even if they are not taken down immediately, they are only going to be like half as scary. They are very often not doing any damage at this point. Because they've just everybody lost their active basically. And we still have the cannon on the field. So that's the idea here. Hey Broho. Hey Kay. Or Kai. German pronunciation is Kai. I don't know what the English one is. So then we go with Yasmin, we refresh Runner Clue, and now we have an army of shades, and we still have 2 more turns. Someone attacks Tanamo, and then after that we can finish her off, and then we still have Silverwood. As always, when you have to either play only warriors or only melee units, Kyle is obsessed with Silverwood. This is basically the hint for you. Always play Silverwood in these encounters. You're not gonna regret it. So this takes us to uncommon encounter number 1. And if we like paid very close attention, I just need to go like a tiny bit back. I just talked about this a second ago, that I was on 6 tickets and I mastered a common encounter number 3 with my first attempt. Now I'm at 1 out of 6 tickets. So I needed 5 or even 6 attempts to get this right. And in the end, I could only get it right with the help of Tama. From my guild, and he was the one who was like, yeah, I can break this down for you, I can show you how to do uncommon encounter number 1. So the cheat code here is to play the only healer in the high faction. Now you may be wondering, who's the healer in the high faction? The reason the answer is Static Crackle, because Static Crackle is active with the supply drop, can drop a crate, and then when the unit picks up the crate, they have more health than they had when they started the encounter. And this is what the game is looking for, is everybody at their starting health or above their starting health. And that means even though Snazbang might be taking some damage here, very likely, he is gonna be at a higher health in the end, and this will result in us getting the perfect score. This is the logic here. You need to open this way with Snaresbang going in and then attacking with Static Crackle to get a landmine in either this spot or this spot or this spot. Because these enemies are gonna move in and they are gonna stumble over the landmine. And you need to get rid of one of them. Otherwise the strategy is not working. Alright, and now you use the supply drop. Doesn't really matter where you go. Then you can place Snaresbang on it and then you repair Buzzy KLONKSON, and after that you can go for the active. You got 3 rockets, 3 enemies, so that basically turns out well, and in the end you're ending up with 500 out of 500. This is an early favorite for my favorite encounter in this entire adventure, because it was like short and sweet and to the point, but at the same time it was kind of tricky. So I appreciate that encounter quite a bit, although there's obviously a chance that this was not the intended way of solving this encounter. Who knows? Good afternoon. Hey Jeff, hello, happy to have you here, man. Alright, with that we're going to uncommon encounter number 2, where we are not allowed to play any mounted units most of the time. This means you're not going to be allowed to play Accio and or Sir Matt. Those are the 2 mounted units that are like mostly important or mostly really good in these adventures, because Kill Command is a really good skill, in case you didn't know, and obviously the 2 horses that Sir Matt produces can really help you not take any damage. So this is the logic here, most of the time at least. We can also not play any healers. Keep in mind that means you can still play Yasmin if you want, but you cannot play a Nixie and you cannot play a Tavarinci, which is odd because I don't see any obvious synergies for Nixie or Tavarinci here, but that might just be me. Alright, so we're going in, doing not like a whole lot of damage. Then we use the power of Queen Akeshru to get rid of one of these palace guards and damage the other guy. Then frogs for more board control and more targets for the enemy. And then after frogs we're also coming out with even more summons. These guys can be safely ignored most of the time because they love to use their active, which is gonna put this like magical cage on the board, and it's not gonna do anything. Like it's not dangerous or anything. You can just straight up ignore it. And then after that you get a crit hit and you're lucky, or you just use the regular, the active of Buzzy KLONKSON to end up with a perfect score with a lightning victory. So this is how I played this encounter. Pretty straightforward enough for the most part. This takes us to uncommon encounter number 3, which is, yes, one of the weirdest encounters in this entire adventure, if you're asking me. I came up with this strategy. I unleashed this strategy. Like, Cinder was shooting with a cannon at Ardazi. Ardazi is down. The cannon gets thrown around. These guys are attacking the cannon. Everybody's having fun. Only Sir Matt gets hit, but Sir Matt is going to get refreshed by Yasmin, and then he can also heal through his own effect. Everything is going according to plan. I end up with a lightning victory. I'm like, woo! First attempt, got the perfect score. And then I look at my score, and I did not have a perfect score. And the reason why is that this fire tile, this fire in the dry bush, spread over to this tile, which is not very likely that it happens, but it can happen, and then Cinder took damage from that. No enemy was attacking me, but this weird dry bush was on fire, and that's how my Cinder took some damage. So I was like very frustrated regarding that. I was like, okay, I need to make sure this never happens again, although it's not super obvious how you can avoid this. I basically just went with the same strategy for another time, hoping that this would not happen again. So this time we're again going with the cannon. I think it's better to hit Ardazi, but I'm not like 100% sure. Then we hit this guy with Buzzy and try to finish him. Don't quite succeed, but it's all good because we now have a target for him to hit, and then we have a second target down here. So this guy gets thrown around, he gets thrown around. Silverroot is taking a lot of damage here, but not enough damage to basically outright kill him. So we're still in business. But as you can see, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies. Yeah, no, 5 enemies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies. So, whenever this happens, and you have Silverroot on the board, you want to get rid of as many enemies as possible, because this is feeding into the passive of Silverroot, which in turn is feeding into the active of Silverroot. If that sounds confusing, it is. It is. But that's how Silverroot works. So now I'm thinking about, okay, what can I do next? I thought it makes the most sense to not attack with Yasmin, because we need Yasmin to heal Silverroot. Then I'm checking how many singers I'm going to get. 2 singers only, not a whole lot, but obviously better than nothing. So I'm still thinking about, okay, where do we go? How do we do the most damage? So here are the 2 singers. One of these guys is getting down, so that's good. And the other guy is healing. Then I'm thinking about using Silverroot but I'm thinking better of it and first healing Silverroot because he's really powerful, especially at lower rarities because it just wipes the board outright. And again, the old rule stays true. If you have to play warriors, play Silverroot because Kyle loves Silverroot. I'm gonna make him stop putting Silverroot in any and all of these encounters. This time, we need to play hulking units. There's two different approaches for this encounter. One involves Yasmin, the other involves Bullmon. I tried with Yasmin twice, I didn't get lucky, so I'm going with Bullmon and I'm getting super lucky. So here the opening is clear. You need to move with Bullmon in this channel direction because this guy also is hulking. So he cannot jump up here and then connect with your unit. So you're running away from this guy while you can connect with these guys. Boulder is an absolute all-star whenever you are playing these adventures because he can use his active and his health is going to go up to 100%, which means he basically did not take any damage. That's the idea here. So now there's again some spots where your units are not going to get hit. So we attack here and here. Now Bullmon can go here. And now you have to get a little bit lucky that this guy's going to attack Boulder, but more often than not he will because they love to attack the weakest unit. And I'm sorry to say, it is Boulder. There is Bullmon is not Bullmon gets attacked, so you want to place Bullmon behind these other two guys. Buzzy does not get attacked because he's very tanky, and then Boulder can even block, by the way. So and now you're in a really good position again. So we can try and take this guy down with combined forces of both Boulder and Bullmon. This works, and then the Rocket Barrage, because a couple of turns have passed, is the finisher for us, and that's how we get the perfect score in this encounter. So that was basically rare encounter number 1. Very funny encounter, not super complicated. Rare encounter number 2, on the other hand, is a bit more complicated because we have to play red units, but they cannot be ranged. So all the good red units like Snaresbang and Myvera and like all of these guys, we cannot play them. We have to play these other red units. And again, credit goes to Tama, who was like immediately, I got a strategy for that, that's not a problem. You cannot go for the repair action of Sprocket right away because there's elevation. You don't see it, but it's there. It's like a very weird disease, basically. So you have to first move Buzzy up, and then after you moved him, you can use the effect of Sprocket to supercharge him and get an attack in. Doesn't need to be a crit hit, regular hit is enough. You just want to get rid of this guy. Sunshine goes into the middle, and that's basically the first turn. Now these enemies, they are connecting with Buzzy, but it's not a big deal because we can, well, repair him and at the same time wind him up to do some more damage. Also, we do have Sunshine, and all of these enemies just clustered up like crazy. So Sunshine can go in. He needs to take out 2 units. That's kind of important because again we might have 4 singers. Let me check. It's 2 turns, and then we have 2 repair actions. So that should be 4 singers. Yes. And I think I might be counting them. You need to get next to these enemies, otherwise he doesn't see them in the shrub. And then there's the 4 singers, and that gives you the lightning victory and a perfect score in this encounter. Sunshine is so good. Yeah, some are saying he's S tier. I don't know what these guys have been smoking. Alright, that takes us to rare encounter number 3. This time we have to play warriors. Say it with me. Say it with me. What unit are we going to play? Silverroot. Yes, exactly. Silverroot is very good. It's a German saying. It's what Kyle tells himself every time when he goes to sleep in the evening. You actually don't need Silverroot in this encounter, but it helps. There's also a chance that you play without Silverroot and you get like super lucky with a crit hit by Corrin. But if you don't want to be the luckiest person in the world, go for Wingtip. Wingtip goes in, Wingtip goes out. And this is the good thing here because now he's no longer standing in fire and he cannot burn. Then we're using the fire to our advantage because the fire is preventing this guy from connecting with us. And even if you do not get a crit hit, this enemy is going to go for his magical cage attack again. So he's either going to cage Buzzy or Corrin. And then Wingtip can basically get rid of the cage and everything is going to be fine. So this is roughly what happens after the first 2 attacks if you're playing it by this strategy. Even without a crit. And then you have 2 more units that can attack. So you go in, you get another crit hit because you're the luckiest person in the world, and then you can go for the Rocket Barrage. But again, I swear, the crit hits are not required. Keyphone from our guild was actually coming up with this strategy. So yeah, I didn't realize Sunshine was able to be played here. He's red and he's not ranged. But yes, that is very confusing. Sunshine is not a ranged unit, at least by the interpretation of the game. Silverroot is very good. Yes, it is. It is. Especially if you say it in the German way. So this is one of the most weirdest encounters in this entire adventure. Because Silverroot looks good, has a really cool name. What's not to like? Well, the fact that he only has an active and he doesn't have a passive. That's what's not to like. So this is one of the encounters where I'm like kind of disappointed. Yeah, I have to say. I was looking at this encounter and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I can do some stuff with Nimrod. I can do some stuff with Runner Clue. I can connect and put shades on the board. And then the next turn I can control everybody and they're not going to do any damage to me. And then the next turn I can win this game. And then I did this strategy and it worked like a charm. And then I realized I only have one turn for lightning victory? Really? This is very restrictive because you cannot go with like an interesting inventive strategy where you're trying to like completely dominate the board and like make it hard for your enemies and stuff like that. You have to go balls to the wall, all out attacks. This is why I did not like this encounter very much, because it is very straightforward. So we're going with Tanamo because the Dance of Daggers is going to take these three chokers is what I was about to say, out. And then after that we're playing Buzzy and Nimrod. So Nimrod is the first to open up the entire attack range. He's taking out some of these guys. Should be 3 in most cases. Then you teleport with Buzzy and you use the active to get rid of this guy, because he's the only guy that can actually survive the attack of Tana. And then, say it with me, Silverroot is very good. And that's how you win. Every time. Every time you have to play warriors or non-ranged units, just play Silverroot. It's like a very subtle nudge that you get. I played this with Sigrid? What? Don't be ridiculous. Don't make up stuff, Burun. That's not true. Alright, in this encounter there's a lot of fire. So that means we can play Agna. Woo! Every time we can play Agna, I'm happy. I'm feeling like all of the resources I invested in Agna a long time ago have not been wasted. Every time this happens, I'm happy. Then, after we do some damage to Harun, because he's somewhat tanky, not very tanky for a warrior, but somewhat tanky, we take everybody out with Trip's favorite unit, Myvera. Then we place a unit on top of the teleport. Then we get rid of the fire, just because we don't want to have any risk of getting injured. And we're moving Snazbang as close to the teleport as possible. And that's basically the encounter. Everything after that is just like straightforward as whoosh. And that's how you get the lightning victory and the perfect score in this encounter. So in the end it's very straightforward, at least if you're asking me. What I liked is that we could play 5 units, and I don't think there was a need for 5 units. And now I'm realizing that I did make a mistake. I did not load up the epic videos. And I was wondering why this video is so short, because normally it's roughly 18 minutes. But not a big deal. Obviously I have 3 more videos for you guys. So let's move on to epic encounter number 1. Yeah, but I guess Secret is a unit, yeah. So we're going straight into it. In epic encounter number 1, lightning victory, and then we can only deploy heroes from the Hive faction. This is a rather restrictive victory condition, obviously. So you know you can only play 5 different units to get the perfect score. What I liked again is that this is a really cool mix of enough nudging, like the game telling you what you need to do, without being like all in your face, like this is how you have to play this and there's no other way. So we're going with Buzzy as a blocker basically. Then we repair him and we can still use his effect if we wanted to. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, to be honest. I think I'm going in, yes. And this might be a misplay. It might be a misplay to go in here with Buzzy. It might be better to just like continue to stand there because you have one more turn. And now the weirdest thing happens. The weirdest thing. I'm going in and I'm attacking with Snazbang. 3 enemies. And I somehow managed, also by the way this is cool in slow-mo, and I somehow managed with 3 enemies that I'm attacking with the active of Snazbang to not crit a single one. And this has never happened before in the history of Rivengard, which means I am the luckiest player alive. And yeah, I have one more turn to get the victory basically, and we can wind up Buzzy for another time. So don't play it like me. Play it a little bit smarter, unless you want to be like absolutely ridiculously lucky. Then this is obviously the strategy for you. Hey Thutson, hey. Then epic encounter number 2, we have to play warriors. Who are we gonna play? Ghost. Oh no, sorry, that was the other song. Obviously we are gonna play Silverroot. Like, is there ever gonna be a question about that? So this time we want to play Silverroot. We want to play Yasmin. Why Yasmin? Because Yasmin allows us to heal. Healing is good in this game. At least in adventures. So we want to get rid of one enemy. We're wasting the active of Buzzy, but that's not a problem. And then we're going for the active of Sir Matt, just because we want to have some shooting targets for our enemies. Then we do what Silverroot does best, which is hiding. And also we are moving Yasmin somewhere where she can do something relevant, like buff a unit, or refresh an active. We're not going for the active yet, I'm thinking about it, but Buzzy's Rocket Barrage is not as important here as Sir Matt's active. Because Sir Matt's active is going to give us an option to get rid of this guy without taking any damage back. And at the same time, we're going to have 2 more attackers for the following turn, because we have 1 more turn until we're done. So what I'm checking here is the danger zone for only this enemy. And I'm realizing I can stay out of his danger zone, which means I can ignore all the other enemies until the last turn. And the more turns have passed, the more damage Silverroot is doing. So we're hiding in the corner, like an absolute boss. And now we can refresh Sir Matt with the active of Yasmin and get rid of this guy with 2 more horses. And this time he cannot even shoot them down, because the horses have a lot more power than before. And then we pass play. And this takes us to our last turn, where we can get the lightning victory. And like I said, we do have some horses, so they can help us do some damage. And yeah, we can go in with Buzzy, take 1 guy out, then we try to do some more damage. So we're thinking about, okay, where can everybody connect? Yasmin can connect here. This guy could have connected here, but for some reason we're getting lucky with crits everywhere. And then Silverroot is our finisher, and we end up with a perfect score. Epic 2 is my favorite, not because of strategy, because of reward. Yeah, those 32 extra coins for the looter is really something. I'm in agreement with you. This takes us to epic encounter number 3. Which is the most, well, what's the word? This was the biggest letdown for me. I played this encounter with my first attempt. I'm again going in with some strategy that some of my guildmates showed. I think it was again Tama. And it involves a salvo. Don't fret if you don't have like an epic salvo. A rare salvo is enough. I'm basically unleashing the combo, which is everybody uses their active. It's a really cool combo, you should try it sometime. And then I'm on my Vera. I want to move her somewhere. I want to check if she's in range of an enemy. And I want to use the active. But with my fat fingers, I'm just clicking on the enemy. And she does 1 regular attack. And I had won the encounter with a perfect score. But this way I messed up and I had to play it 4 more times until I got lucky with salvo. And then at that point I was really annoyed. So I'm going with a slightly different strategy. Only slightly different. So what we're doing is we're first attacking with Snazbang on this side to hope and take out ideally all 3 of these guys, but we don't have to. Like 2 is fine. 2 is fine. After that, we are going in with salvo, but any other ranged attacker is fine. Like, it might even be Sunshine on his own is gonna be fine. Yeah, there's different options. And now you have 4 more enemies, all of which have less than 500 health, which means that the active of my Vera is immediately gonna take them out. You do not have to play this encounter this super aggressive way. There's also some options to play this a lot more defensively. For example, with King Caradan, because the enemies love to focus on King Caradan, attack him because he's got very low health. And then Sir Tristan jumps out and he's taking a lot of damage. So there's other ways to do this instead of going for a hole-in-one or like a lightning victory on the first turn. But this is what I did. Alright. Epic 2 is my favorite, not because of reward. Yeah, we had that, yep. And Balmo fits perfect in this Epic 3. That is true. And again, this was just a rare Balmo. This was not an epic Balmo. So you don't have to have like super highly developed salvos. Alright, so I'm just gonna start entering you guys in our prize drawing. So earlier, I remember that Tiny Rodent, I think Tiny Rodent started the whole thing. I can't see it right now. But I'm very certain that Tiny Rodent said some encounter was really cool. If you can repeat it, I would be very happy. Okay. And then what else did we have? Also, by the way, we can turn this on. We can turn back the sound on this other thingy, because we're eventually going to play the legendary encounter and hope to get lucky. So then we had Sergey Borisov, who said Balmur is great in Epic 3. I think. Is that your favorite? Oh, sorry, you said Epic 2, of course. Reward. And Max Power Epic 3 looks like Balmo. Okay, I'm just gonna enter you there for Epic 3. Do you change Snazbang's weapon to avoid a critical hit with him? I did not. I think I changed equipment once or twice with like a Sunshine or something. It wasn't Sunshine. It was, I think, Wingtip. I was once switching some gear for Wingtip and that's it. So you almost never had to change anything as far as I'm aware. Okay, Monster Mash says Rare 3. Hugo, Epic 3 for Balmur. That's a good point. Yeah. Hugo was Xispo, is that correct? Or am I mixing things up? And Burun said Uncommon 3 and Epic 2 for the reward again, the Blood Vial. See, I didn't even realize that. Okay, so Fancy SF says Rare 1. Insa Albrecht /Engine said Common 3. Because of playing basketball with the cannon? Yeah, that works. That works for me, okay. K says Uncommon 3. Jeff Chi says Epic 2. Jesus, you guys. It's a lot of you today. Tiny Rodent. Okay, here we go. Rare 5. But I didn't start the Epic ones yet. Oh, yes, that's what you said. Thank you, I got it. Borsalino is Epic 1. Bublight, Epic 1. Max Power says thanks. I really like Epic 1. Okay, cool. Oh, Matthew is back. Okay. Epic 1. If he crit hits, will he be damaged? Yes. Every time Snazbang crit hits, I mean, if he survives, if the encounter lasts another turn. So, if your enemies are stepping on a landmine and they are dying on their turn, or if you just wipe all the enemies, it doesn't matter that Snazbang sets his own tile on fire. So basically, you always wait until the very last moment to go for the active of Snazbang. We've seen this in a couple of past adventures. Very often you have to like keep Snazbang in the back, protect, heal your units, do some stuff, and then you use the active. And very rarely you can use Snazbang on turn number 1 and then use Agna to remove the fire from under him. I love those encounters, but this only happened twice in the history of adventures. But I'm still every time I'm super happy when this happens. Okay, so Hugo was sister, thank you. And then we had Thurzenberg with Epic 1. And Dörfel, hey, hello, with Rare 4. Okay, cool. I have no idea how many people that are, but if you don't see your name on this, is what if you don't see your name in this list, let me just bring this up a little bit larger, and you want to enter the prize drawing, then say something in the chat, please, alright? Cool. The restream bot is like kind of going over everything now, even over Buzzy. So I'm just gonna hide Buzzy. Have you guys in here. Do you still have a high crit rate on your Buzzy? So I do, but whenever you're playing the adventures, you're gonna be fed a unit from the game. So that is why in the Nimrod adventure there were a couple of encounters where Nimrod had like a crit rate of 20%. And in the Snazbang adventure it was the same. There was a couple of encounters where Snazbang had a crit rate of 20%, which is not even possible. Like, unless you don't equip a ring and you equip like a really bad sword. But most of the time that's not possible. So yeah, in these adventures, the unit you can always ignore is the adventure unit, because you're gonna get them from the game. Alright, with that, we're entering the... so my Buzzy is still broken. And if this festival keeps up, I'm actually thinking about purchasing the festival package, even though I don't need any of the extra stuff. The only reason I'm tempted to go for the festival or adventure package, I always say festival, is that I get 2 KLONKSON shards and laurels for each star. And I think this is always 18 stars or something. Does somebody know? So it's 3 and 3 is 6, 6 and 5 is 11, 11 and 3 is 14, and 1 is 15. So 15 times 3 is 45, and then 45 times 2. That means you would get 90. That means you would get 90 shards if you were to get a perfect score in this adventure. 90 shards and 90 laurels. And that is like 9 days of farming. And then the question becomes, is 9 days of farming worth an epic badge that I don't need because I already have all the epic badges I want? Oh, raid tickets. What a steal. What a steal. Yeah. So there's like nothing in there that I need in this adventure bundle. Summoning tokens I don't really care about, to be honest. The epic badge I definitely don't care about because I have a couple of them already. So it would only be 90 shards. Is 90 shards worth 20 euros? I don't think so, but I'm thinking about it. Just because, like, farming shards and stuff is so annoying. Hey Yula, hello. What was your favorite encounter in this adventure? You kind of missed them all, but if you tell me, we can still enter you in the in the price drawing. Not worth it. Yeah, it's basically just 9 days of farming. So you're saving, well, you're saving some energy for 9 days. No, everybody says not worth it. I think I'm on the record in a past video of mine where I said that these are really not worth it. And I stand by that. I think I should actually stand by it and not go for it. Alright, legendary encounter. It's almost like I talk too much. I need to drink a lot. So, in the legendary encounter, we can play whoever we want as long as they are not ranged. So that seems pretty straightforward. Looking over my units, I feel like Nimrod is gonna be a lock, and he's equipped at the moment because I went up against the Dark Dragon a couple of times, and I like to fight fire with fire, or in this case dark with dark. So Nimrod is really good against the Dark Dragon, and he's not ranged, and then Ranaklu is not ranged, so that's already a good combo that we can play. And like I said, I just played the Dark Dragon. Then we might be able to also play Arceus, so we can have all of these summons go ham on the enemy. If we can play 3 units, who knows. And obviously we need to play Buzzy. And then the 4th unit, I don't know. But if we already have like summons, overkill strategies, we could also go Dorga. So this could be a really, really weird encounter. We are kind of lucky in the sense that there are next to no horse archers. There are no horse archers. Yes, horse archers are the biggest problem because they shoot back when you hit them initially. And since they are not there, this could be really easy, to be honest. I'm curious to see this. Epic Encounter 2 was my favorite. Okay, let me just put that quickly in before we forget about it. That was Epic 2. Spam the board. Yeah, like summon overload strategies tend to work quite well in this game in general. And in Legendary Encounters as well. So all the enemies, almost all the enemies cannot connect with us. And we can play 5 units. I mean, that is like very inviting. Unfortunately... Oof. Okay, so these guys, the Palace Guard, not the Palace Guards, Caravan Guard or something, they are going to be a bit of a problem. So they have, I keep forgetting this, 3 movement and 2 range. Keep in mind they have the active and it has range 2. So they can walk 1, 2, 3 spots and then they can hit 1, 2 spots. So that means we could play 4 units. We should play 4 units and then everybody's safe from these guys. That's option number 1. I'm gonna be on the record and say this is not a very appealing option. Okay, what else can we do? Well, we could also go in with Dorga on this side and then we have some summons. And if we are super lucky, it's gonna be enough. Oh, by the way, we can play Sir Matt, which is also really good. Yeah, but I have to say I don't see Nimrod here. Unless we play a unit that can fly to the top. Because the Palace Guard here can only get here. So we can basically put a couple of units at the top and we have 4 turns. So we can play some units at the top. Keep 3 units in the back. And then hopefully we can go in with Nimrod. Not immediately destroy everything, which is going to be hard. And yeah, that could work, but I'm very skeptical. I don't know. This is scratch option 1. Yeah, my entire original plan is like already dead. Okay, so let's try it with Dorga. How many of these guys can connect with us? Well, they're archers too. If we get like 2 or 3 frogs, we're gonna be fine. Oh, I cannot. It's like somebody get the memes ready and stuff. Like I know what's gonna happen. We're gonna get like 5 eggs and nothing else. Would Tanamu be strong enough to eat the enemies? Yeah, these guys are super weak. 330. Jesus Christ, how weak are they? 742? Wait. Don't tell me we can just like fire through all of the left side with Tanamu. Because 700 and 400 is not like a whole lot. That's just 1100. And the active of Tana does 1800. What is... Oh, active. 1800, yeah. I know this. So Tana could actually connect with the first guy, hit the second, hit the third, and then she would stop attacking and get thrown around and would take a lot of damage. So it's not the ideal strategy, but quite honestly, Tana seems like a good option. So let's maybe try this. So we're playing Tana. Where did she go? Where did she fly to? She can fly to the top. Then we want to have another unit at the top. Like... Definitely not Nimrod. Maybe Ranaklu? Sure. Then Ranaklu can come down from this side. On the other side, we are going to play Nimrod. Buzzy somewhere in the back. And then our 5th unit is gonna be... Dorga? Dorga or Archeo? Archeo would probably be better. Because with Archeo, we can heal him if we have to. So this seems fine. So let's see, where's the danger zone? As we can see, we can move one guy to the side. We can move Tana up here. And then we have like some wiggle room to move all of our other units. And this is basically our first turn. And now if we are lucky enough, the Palace Guard is not immediately going to die. Yeah, I mean, sure. We kind of saw that coming, right? How much do you have? 1,200 and 600. That could be... Yeah, we could be strong enough to take this guy out immediately. Also, we cannot connect with anybody. Yeah, this is not going to work. Ugh. So you can take one guy out. We have 3 turns. We can still do this. It just doesn't look good for us now. Okay, so much for that. Yeah, so Nimrod is not a good option. Yeah, now you don't crit. It's too late now. Now it doesn't count anymore. This was the plan. We wanted to go in, create some darkness, get some shades, go for kill command. Okay, that's actually really good. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad about it because we're gonna need a couple of these ancient sacred bonds. Okay. So the strategy seemed fine. It's just Nimrod is doing way too much damage. So let's see if there's even a chance in hell we can get this down. So he's doing 400. These guys had 1200. So if we equip Nimrod with the crappiest equipment we can find, like a common ring, and I don't even think I have enough rare stuff. Oh, here we go. And let's see. This. How much do we do? 124 with a crit hit. 124 with a crit hit. That should work. Even if we were to do 400, we're only doing 500 damage now. We can play the same strategy. And we can play the same strategy, and this time we're gonna get the darkness out. We were not able to connect with Ranaklu, so I have to swap the positions of Ranaklu and Buzzy. But other than that, everything seemed fine. I don't think we have to change anything else. So, the only problem is, I need to watch an ad. Because I'm gonna get like another... No, stop talking, guys. So, because I have like 5 more ad watches for today. Dorga took a hit when I moved in on turn 2. Okay, interesting. Nope, 497. Monster Mash already won the perfect score, I think. You close or what? Yasmin to buff. Yasmin would definitely also be an option, yes. Yasmin would also be an option. Okay, no, does anybody miss their name on this list? Because then we can still bring you in. We're gonna go back here. Alright, second attempt. I'm still happy with my strategy. I think we just didn't know. It would be fun to do an ad guessing game. Yeah, I guess that's an option. So let's try this one more time. So we said we have to play this slightly differently. So we wanted to have Buzzy up here. And we want to be able to connect with Ranaklu on turn number 2. So those are the 2 conditions that we want to change. So now, we're moving Buzzy to the side. Tana flies up. And we're going to be trying the same strategy as before. So this time this guy has 700 and 400. So he's 1,200 health, something like that, roughly. And that means even if we crit, and this time of course we don't crit, we're not going to get... we're not going to take him out right away. So this is what we wanted from the top. Now we're going to do this from the bottom. There's no reason to do this any other way. Yeah, sure. And that gives us our Shade Army. Now the only question is, I think all of our units are safe. The enemy cannot even connect with us even if they wanted to. So there's absolutely no reason to rush this. This is the best strategy I have ever invented for any of these legendary encounters. Because this actually seems completely foolproof. If you're seeing something that I don't see, let me know. We could even get rid of Siad here. Right away. And get rid of his snakes. He's got 1,000, yeah, 1,800. Did somebody like accidentally forget to give him diamond ranks or something? Yeah, so let's go for Archeo right away. Yeah, and now Siad is also down. And now we have 2 more Palace Guards against 500 enemy, against 500 of us. If I were a better player, I would have managed to actually set this up in a way that I can connect this turn. But I'm still happy. Okay, last turn and we win. That's a really weird legendary encounter. Am I missing something? I mean, I'm not complaining. But it looks like these enemies had silver ranks when they were supposed to have diamond ranks. But I'm quite happy that I found a strategy that is definitely possible to recreate for some of you. You don't even need all of these units. You just need any flying unit that has not range. So a Corrin would do, a wingtip would do. You just need Tana to fly to the top. That's all she does. Or you start with 4 units. You can actually play this encounter with 4 units and I don't even see a problem. You do not have to have Archeo because the kill command didn't really do anything. This seems like a... I don't know. It seems like a weird case of someone forgetting to accidentally set the levels of the enemies up. Alright, so let's check out the final chest here. Here's the chest. Okay, what do we get? A lot of gold, some more shards, and some more laurels. Okay, cool. And in a minute we could actually play this again. But that's basically it for this adventure. We got all the chests we wanted. There were a couple of encounters where you had to get like a little bit lucky, but for the most part this seemed like a really good balance. Some of the last adventures I felt like were getting a bit too hard, just a tiny bit. This seemed very much in balance. I don't think there was anything where someone can complain and say, oh my god, this was impossible to solve, at least in my opinion. Alright, my shadows couldn't kill the boss right away. Yeah, I guess that's a thing. But still, very often in the legendary encounter you will see enemies with diamond ranks. And I actually did think that Siad had like a diamond rank something. He's really good at diamond rank, by the way. Alright, last chance for you guys to enter the prize drawing. If you do not see your name in this list that is next to my head, this list, at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people. But there's apparently 20 of you in the chats on Twitch and YouTube. Can Taco join, please? Yes, of course. Are you joining on his behalf, Trippy Taco? Or is that you? I'm just gonna put this down like this, if that's okay. If you could be so kind and let me know which encounter was your favorite, that would help, because I'm basically trying to collect some data for Kyle. But if not, it's not a gigantic problem. Alright, last call. I have another ticket, so I'm going to be playing this one more time. To give you guys a little bit more time to enter your names. Epic 1. Okay, cool. Let me just enter this. Epic 1. And so this is your last chance. We're going to be playing through this encounter one more time with the same strategy. See if it works with like a non-Tanamo. Actually, let's try if it works without an Accio. That is actually also interesting. I think we can also play Yasmin here. Definitely an option for that. And any other ranged flying unit. Like you just need some flying unit. So Corrin will do, for example. You don't need a Tanamo. And so at this point in time, the only 2 units that I'm playing that are like relevant are Nimrul on the one hand and Ranaklu on the other. And obviously those 2 units are very strong in my case. But now you can also heal, thanks to the power of Yasmin. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of it. Does Corrin actually turn this into ice? No, okay, because it's not adjacent. And Yasmin here, okay, cool. And that's the turn. And then the enemies can try and do something. But as you can see, they are going to have a hard time with all of these shades. This is a really weak Siad. I can't help but feel like something went wrong here with the design of this encounter. Yeah, now we're just going to move a little bit forward. And pass play. And then the shades are doing the rest of the work. And that's it. Yeah, this seems like something went wrong in the design of this adventure. But good for us, obviously, for all of us who are trying to get to diamond ranks, because This is one of the many items that is very hard to get. All of the epic items are hard to get. 12% chance is great because that means I'm going to be playing this a lot more tomorrow and hopefully I get like 2 more. Alright, as I promised, this is definitely it. We are now doing the prize drawing. I don't see anybody with some more interest in joining this prize drawing. So let's go for this. I'm surprised Nako is not here. This is normally when Nako shows up. So we're just going to shuffle the names 2 or 3 or 4 more times. Nothing changes. All your names are still in here. You just have to look hard enough. He's got just 3 pink stars. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the enemy power is too low for a legendary encounter. But it's alright. No worries. And where's my sound effects? Here's my sound effect. Alright, let's see who gets 10 summoning tokens. JFG! Woo! Who said Epic 2 is his favorite? I think it was one of the guys who said that he likes the reward in Epic number 2. What was the reward in Epic number 2? I just have to look this up again. It's, a Blood Vial of the Caven. That's a really good choice. That is a really good choice. So congratulations to Jeff. Please get in touch with Kyle. You know the drill. I've explained this a couple of times. You just join the official Discord if you haven't already. There's a link in the game. Let me just do my little stick here. So you just go to the options menu on the home screen basically, and then you can click on Discord. Forget user. Honestly, I've never heard of this function before, but I don't want to click it. So you click on the Discord button, it's going to take you to the Discord, and then once you're on the official Discord, there's 2 things you have to do. Number 1, join the Rivengard Japan Discord. If you're one of the Japanese players, or you know some guys who are speaking Japanese, you want to hang out with some other like-minded Rivengard guys, do that. That's option number 1. And then after that you can go to the announcements, and in the announcements you will find some announcements by Kyle. Click on his name and then you can send him a message. And he always appreciates if you give him a time code. We're roughly 50 minutes into the stream, so he can look it up himself, and then it's going to be much, much easier for him. Alright, and that's basically it. That is us breaking down the adventure. I hope you guys saw 1 or 2 levels where you... Oops, I should have changed this. Oops. I hope you guys saw 1 or 2 strategies that are going to help you unlock at least the second to last chest. It's still the last chest has a bit of gold, so it's kind of cool, but it's not like a must by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, so that's it for today. I need to keep this short because I need to have like some sort of real life. I heard that She-Hulk is out, so we're going to be watching that now. Thanks. Thanks, Monster Mash, man. And I wish you guys an enjoyable rest of your day if you're in the US, or of course a good night if you're in Europe. Good morning if you're in Japan, by the way. And there's one thing you can do if you are watching this video and you want to support my channel. In the description below there's a friend code that you can enter in the app. Let me just go back for 1 second. So if you go back to this main menu, and then you can say refer a friend or enter code. One of the 2. I think in my case it's only refer a friend because I already entered a code a long time ago. And then you can enter my code. That would help because then I get some gems for like this little bit of work that I'm putting into this. Alright, was fun. Thanks. How much coffee did you drink to talk that fast at this time? I never drink any coffee. This is all tea. In this case this is vanilla rooibos tea, which is quite nice. Alright, thanks everyone. See you very soon. Have a good night. Bye. Bye. I'm looking for the end screen button. Here we go.